Hey guys, Dan here, and we are back with another investing video. Today we are looking again at the macro cycles for cryptocurrency. Today we're going to be looking at Ethereum. I want to give you guys some price predictions when we're going to see some movements. I've already done this video for Bitcoin, so if you want to check that out, check out the video above. I will tag it for you, but I did all of this analysis already on Bitcoin. If you want to watch that one first, just to give you an idea of what the halvings are and how they work, you might want to do that first. But let's talk about Ethereum now. This one is really interesting. So now I am looking at the Bitcoin halving, but on the Ethereum chart, just to see our cycles here. Let's zoom in on our cycles here and just talk about what we have going on here. I am on the 1 week candles for this chart. We had the Bitcoin halving July 9th, 2016. The price of Ethereum was $664. Now, when we went to the all-time high, we went up very quickly. If you look at these weekly candles, you can see if you missed out on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, you missed the entire bull market for this. So 6 weeks, that's all it took. So you do want to be in the market in the proper timing, which will be soon. We will talk about it in this video here. So stay tuned. Then we went into this cycle low, $83 Ethereum. Imagine buying Ethereum for $83. We went over into the Bitcoin halving in 2020, and we did not see a huge price increase, only about $100 up, so $185. And then we went into the 2021 bull market here again. We rocketed it up from this point up into almost $5,000, still the all-time high for Ethereum, around 48.64. And then we came back down to this cycle low yet again in just a couple of months here. We went straight back down, had some time, and then now we are moving back up right before the halving. Again, halving price at 3,000, still lower than this, and we should have an expected breakout. Now, if we zoom down here and show a little bit more, you can see something interesting. Same thing with Bitcoin. Okay. Now, the first thing you should notice is the time periods here. 560 days for the halving to the all-time high, 550 days from the halving, the Bitcoin halving, to the all-time high of Ethereum. Really interesting, very repeatable. 560, 550, so I'm thinking 550, 555, somewhere in there. That brings us to a top of around October 25th. And then you can see the only differences here is we kind of hit the low a little bit sooner. Now, you could technically take this out 100 more days and you're right here and you're basically still at the same low, so that makes sense. And you can see here, since this was 300 and 500, this is 200, making this 600, so it's the same amount of time on these cycles. Obviously the halving comes every 4 years, but you can just see how repeatable this is, and we can use this timing to see roughly when the top will be and to kind of estimate the total return on this. So you see a run up of 1400. Now you see a run up of 2470. So we're looking at some really big pumps here now. If I do the same analysis and talk about this here, when we come into predicting this next move, it's really interesting, right? So if we only use 400% rate of return here, that gives us to a $15,000. Ethereum. I've seen some 27 and 30,000 predictions for Ethereum, and I thought it was a little bit wild until I actually looked at the chart and saw this. I mean, we're looking at a 1,400% return, a 2,400. So it's actually getting larger. With Bitcoin, it went the opposite direction, right? We had a bigger return the first time here. So in the first bull market, we saw a roughly 2,200% return. And then in the second one, we saw a, what here? Only a 639% return, right? So the returns have actually been going down when it comes to Bitcoin. But now on this chart, you can see we've doubled the return each time. So I don't think that's going to happen again. I'm not thinking we're going to see a 5,000% return. If it were to follow this same pattern, this basically doubled. So then we'd be basically at 5,000, right? Rate of return. So a 500x. I do not plan on seeing that, but who knows? I mean, that's probably the biggest thing we could see. It's also interesting to look at, this 94% drop from the top to the cycle low. Here we saw an 82% drop from the top to the bottom. So those numbers are getting smaller, which is good. You don't, this number, basically what you're going to try to do here is you're going to try to take some profits when you get up near the top. Now, for me, how do you know when you're at the top? Well, there's a couple different ways. Now, the first thing you could say is just, all right, if I see more than a 50% drop, you can see we did a 50% right here, 58%. For me, I'm going to look for the first big drop and then try to take some profits once we ramp up. Now, it's not a guarantee that that's going to happen, because you can see here, we basically saw this 70% drop, but then we only saw, basically 100% return back here. We still, if you took it the second top here, you got 42% less profit. So it didn't work well for this cycle here, but I'm hoping that for this new cycle, there's not a lot of traffic here. If you look at the charts here, let me pull the volume onto the chart real quick. You can see the volume. Actually, it's interesting. There's actually more volume. That surprises me, actually, now that I look at that. I assumed that there was going to be a lot less volume. Now, I don't know exactly what this volume is. I don't know if that's a percent of price or anything like that, or if this volume is literally just the actual amount of volume. I'm assuming that's what it is. So surprising actually to see a low volume here in 2021, but such a high price, because you can see, look at the volume now. The volume is nothing compared to where it was before, right? So the volume has just been steadily dropping off, but it's going to be interesting. If we see another big run like this, I'm going to try to take profits somewhere in here. Now, when is it going to happen? If we go look at a lot of the timing here and how long we had from, the cycle low, or how long we had from the halving, the first one, it was kind of a long time. We had basically 42 weeks before we went up from the last halving. But now, if we look at this current halving, we only went 12 weeks, and then we started our run up to the top. Now, if we look at where we are right now, we are currently at 10 weeks. So that could mean in 2 weeks, we might see a rise to the upside here. And this is my predicted path. If I look at kind of the last cycle here, I took those timings from here. So we got about as I said, we have about a 12 week, and then we have about a 30 week before we start hitting it and hitting this nice little banana zone here. So right now we are at 10 weeks. So 2 more weeks, possibly we might have the start of the bull run. And then if we get out in here, we might see, maybe 20 weeks. So this is when talking October, maybe September of this year, we're going to start the market going up. Now this is, so for my prediction here, it's going to be interesting. October 2025, it is right before, it's the normal time, right? October, November, December, January, that's usually where we're seeing tops of markets. If we go back here, you can see November 2021 was the top of that market. Over here, you can see December or even January was the top of this market. So again, you're always looking October through January to be the tops of markets. It seems very repeatable, at least the last couple cycles here. So you want to be in the game for Ethereum. I have about an equal position in Bitcoin as Ethereum as some of my other altcoins as well. So I am hoping that Ethereum is going to see a pretty crazy run up to the top here. Again, worst case scenario, I'm thinking 15,000, which is a 4x or a 400% return. But I don't know. What if it's 27,000? I mean, it looks crazy to even consider basically, starting from here and then, coming up, down, and freaking something crazy, you know what I mean? Obviously that's probably a little bit exaggerated, but something like that isn't totally out of the question, I guess, especially now that we have a lot more people, institutional investors coming into these markets. We have obviously the Ethereum ETF coming. I don't know what kind of, publicity and stuff we're going to get from that. We'll see. I mean, who knows? This one could be a crazy 800x return, could be a 400x return. Who knows? Maybe it's over that. Maybe we see a freaking $100,000 next year. I think that's wildly unlikely. I think this 15K is about what we'll see, but I think it's going to be somewhere in between these two numbers, maybe 15K, maybe 27K. But anyways, that's it. If you want to look at any of the exchanges, you want to open a cryptocurrency exchange, I have two links below, one for crypto.com and one for Coinbase. If you want to use those links, it helps me out. If you want to download TradingView, this is the charting software I have right now. I have a link for that below as well. So feel free to use my affiliate links. They do help me, but I do appreciate the support. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button and that subscribe button. It really helps me out, especially that subscribe button. If I want to get monetized on this channel, I need 1,000 subscribers. I have about 4 right now, so I would love your support. If you did find this video and enjoyed it, got something useful out of it, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and that is it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great day, everyone. See you guys.